Welcome to Bloom in Full Color, where we live life in high definition. Myself, Jennifer Moss. I've got PJ and Dave with me. All right, so today we are going down the bartender track. Okay,
alcohol.
yes,
alcohol.
I'm getting drunk off the smell at this point.
Shut.
Okay, so the thing about fall is you have different items you can start to use that are the essence of fall flavors, right? So we look forward to fall for pumpkin pie. We did just do that. Our last episode was about everything pumpkin.
Right.
We didn't go pumpkin this way, guys. We're not drinking pumpkin spice lattes on Moss Greenhouse's Bloom in Full Color podcast. That is not what's happening.
Although it does sound good.
Nobody has dreadlocks on this panel, so no pumpkin spice.
That is a white lady thing.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That
Pumpkin spice and dreadlocks.
the basic
And I'll
bitch.
see you at spin class, Karen.
Well,
yes.
I think-
yes.
I figured when I come
Absolutely.
back, I will probably come back as an old white lady. You know,
Yeah.
so that's
Okay. All right. So that's our second life plan. Okay. I'm going to come back as a moss dog. Is my plan because that's pretty cushy
Good
gig.
plan.
Cushy gig. You guys will always see doodles in and out of ours because closing the door causes more problems than leaving the door cracked. So we just let it happen. So that's why you see Onyx in my lap quite a bit. But anyhow, so we are focused around fall cocktails, but we went specific to things you can mix with apple cider for this event.
Because cider's coming off right now. One of our coworkers just did a big cider press this weekend, and she's got tons of cider. It's delicious.
Yeah, she does an exceptional
Oh
job.
my
It's
gosh.
Lacey. She's part of our grower and production team, and she makes a killer apple cider.
So she started bringing it a couple years ago, and accordingly, my first thought was, what booze can we put in this to make it better?
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
so we've played with these recipes over the last couple of years, so I'm excited for you guys to try
So PJ actually is taking the run here. I'm not in charge of the podcast for a change, which is a nice change of events.
booze. So obviously fall season, it's the time of year. In my opinion, the first one we're starting with is my take on a toddy, right? Which is kind of an older beverage. I feel like our grandparents would drink toddies. Hot toddies.
Hot toddy.
Right?
It's your end of the meal aperitif, if you will.
Yeah. Obviously,
for
doesn't
the-
even get sexy till it gets
now,
cool.
and this was a drink really popular during the 1940s.
That's what I was going to ask. Where
So,
does it come
the
from?
greatest generation,
Yes.
type
It's the
thing. So
greatest generation.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what their moniker
what they-
is.
yep.
I have no idea.
hadn't heard
Nor do
They're
I
the ones
care.
that saved the world by
that's
going
right.
to war.
That's
So
right.
that's the greatest
Oh.
generation, right? They fought the World War I and the
Oh.
tail
World
end
War
and the
II.
part of World War II. So
Yep.
Okay.
their moniker is the
Who got
greatest.
to name them?
That's a great question. I mean, who
I
named
don't-
millennials? I don't know that either. I really don't. But that is a moniker they've
Yes,
gone by for a long
yes.
time.
Well, in Generation X would be called the Forgotten Generation.
The middle child of the generation.
I like it.
So I'm a cusper. I'm an X to millennial.
Cusper.
I'm a cusper. So like depending on which definition you look at, I'm a millennial, but I'm not technical enough to be a millennial because I'm at the oldest era of
So-
the
Yeah,
millennial
It's-
versus Gen X
Yep, I'm cusper between
to
millennial
and
and Gen
Z.
Z.
yeah. See,
Hysterical.
I'm a cusper.
I'm the youngest millennial.
The last
oldest
time
Gen
I
Z.
saw
and I'm
somebody-
the oldest millennial. That's why Zach can talk video and I'm like, what? You're going to have to draw that
Still
out.
speaking
Just
English?
barely out of touch.
Yeah, I'm just barely out of touch. And that's why it was like, I'm never going to learn how to produce video. I don't effing care. I don't want to know.
So it's
That's why you
cool
hired
that you're
for it.
taking an older drink
Right.
and making it
Fresh.
well, fresh, but a twist that you've enjoyed.
Well,
so
and this one's
is,
warm, so we should drink it while it's warm.
It's my version of a tie. So let's try it
Okay.
because it's.
So what's in
all
it?
right. Now,
Okay,
before we
so-
do this,
Yeah,
What's
what's
in
in it?
So
Okay.
this is. Go ahead, Dave.
okay, all right.
Dave's
I am not a drinker.
right. Okay.
Okay, so I may have a funny
Yeah,
look
just-
on my face, so that's okay. It's
With how much booze is in this,
I-
I'm going to probably be like,
I put so little. I say that. I feel like my version of a little is your version of
It's
not very hot.
Yeah,
Right?
not spicy
Danger,
at all. It's
danger.
fine. No, Jennifer should have blinking
So
caution
this
signs.
is warmed apple cider.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Yay.
everybody. Cheers. Hell yes. Might as well have a taste.
This is the perk of working at Moss Greenhouses and getting sloughed into anything Jennifer asks you to do.
Okay, so this is warm apple cider. This is a pretty good top shelf bourbon. This is Buffalo Trace bourbon,
Oh,
which is a
I'm
single.
just gonna sit here.
So-
yeah.
so this is surprising because it does have a
smelled
little
like
bit
alcohol.
And you can smell bourbon strong, but it
Absolutely.
doesn't flavor
right.
that way.
That's what
Right.
before we went live, the bourbon tour I mean, it burned all the way down all the time.
Yeah.
Not
Right?
at all.
This,
No
This
burn.
is nice and smooth.
Yeah.
So first of all, I brought really good bourbon for this.
Is
I'm
this
not being a turd.
anise?
No, that's clove.
It's
so
clove?
this
Okay.
is warm apple cider, a little warmed up small shot of pretty top shelf bourbon, single malt bourbon, which is bullshit what I just said, but I'll tell you. Single malt. It's not malt. It's fucking
No,
bourbon for
it's
Christ's
fine.
sake.
It's fine.
So, but single barrel bourbon. Yeah, okay. We'll get
Just a
into this,
couple of
this
things.
snooty stuff in a minute. And then I took cloves and put whole cloves in a lemon wedge. And that's some of the aromatic section. To me, this is where it starts getting reminiscent of a toddy.
Yeah.
Because a toddy's like some spices and some
Well,
lemon.
and I love clove.
I do too. And it's especially if you're not eating it, if it's just like an aroma, I find it very pleasant.
Yes.
It gets in your mouth. You go, what
Yeah.
the thing here? Why does it taste bad?
So,
But the smell is really good.
what is the occasion that you drink these on?
At Christmas parties when
Monday
Lacey
and
shows up with apple
Tuesday
cider.
and Wednesday and Thursday.
And then you just hide from the owners in the back and you pour bourbon in and then until she invites you to a podcast. That's how it worked for me. I don't know about everybody else. She literally
Well,
brought this to a Christmas party and
Oh,
just
yeah.
as part of the party. So it was a potluck. So everybody's bringing pies and Lacey brings a couple of half-gallon jugs of the cider.
Yeah.
That we're just going, God, this is good. And I start going, if I warm that up and put a shot of something in there, this will turn matte. And
Yeah, and
Went to the
Lacey's
bourbon.
not a drinker, and so
Correct.
she wouldn't
she
have
wouldn't even know.
she wouldn't even have done that. Now me, I'm going, what can I mix this with?
Exactly.
And it turns out apple cider and tequila don't go that well together,
No.
which is my alcohol of choice.
Now we're
is
talking
tequila.
about the Christmas party, and I think it's important to note on these Christmas parties, I'm already slurring. Oh no!
Yeah, you just had one whole drink.
Yeah.
Fine.
So we do a white elephant giveaway,
Right.
Yes, we do.
type
Right.
thing. Alcohol is always the biggest.
The biggest hit.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All the
So
time.
And the sex toys. We will fight over
We-
a proper vibrator. I'm just
we-
telling you. We will.
Do you remember the year? Okay, so we had a burlesque dancer who
Oh.
was moonlighting as a salesperson in our wholesale office.
I like how that's the
Outstanding.
way you took
I know
that. That's great.
that's the way I went with that. She would appreciate it if she
Yes,
was
she would.
listening now.
She would.
And she has her own burlesque company where she does nipple tassels. So
Right,
titty
the
tassels.
pasties.
The
Right.
pasties, and Don, our old maintenance guy, opened it. And I was like, are these hair clips? And I'm like snorting, laughing in the corner. I couldn't even. I was just, I'll steal it. I don't know. I just can't
That's
even.
what is this a dog bone? Where you put batteries in a dog bone? This is not what I thought it
It
was.
was so funny.
Or my favorite was the year the booze and everybody that won it was on parole. So literally they would go open the white oven. I can't touch this anymore. I'm going back to prison. And someone would have to come and take the whiskey
Yeah.
away from the
Do you remember when the onesies came out and all of a
Oh.
sudden Dewey was wearing a
yes,
onesie?
a moose
I think
or
he
something.
bought it.
Yep.
I think that, and actually, I had to get his white elephant gift the next year. He's like, "Can you find one more of those
The
onesies?"
onesies.
Now,
I'm
I,
like, "Yeah,
I,
I'll get right on that." I found one. Don't
I
worry.
do believe years ago we had a great lady, Heather, that used to work here,
Yes.
and she got a bottle of booze. And she wanted to make sure that she held on to it.
She opened.
So
it
she
right
opened
then.
up and drank it,
She drank it right then.
and it still got taken from her. So it's
But she at least got a drink out of it before it went.
And if I was going to steal it, I wouldn't give a shit if you had a drink or not.
That's right.
I
No,
would take it right
I
from
just
you.
blatantly
No
take it.
problem.
No, I go to like the little mini bottles.
Right there you go.
And so what I try to do when I do a white elephant is I like to give you a full experience. So if I was trying to give you a salsa and margarita night, I would get you chips, salsa, the bowl,
Right.
maybe a couple avocados,
glasses.
and then I would go get margaritas, a mixer, a glass, some
Nice.
salt. You got to find your own ice. I'm not helping you there. I'm not doing that.
We don't throw cherries in your mouth and you
I
have to get your own
I
ice.
don't do that. But like
She
my-
draws a line somewhere.
I
There-
do.
there
If
is a
it's
line.
going to melt and cause me a mess, no, I'm not doing it. So, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. And so, if you're going to do a good white elephant, you make it a whole package. So, like movie
Right.
night, it's going to be popcorn, it's going to be candy,
Right.
it's going to be
Maybe a
the
DVD.
movie.
Mhm.
when DVDs were in vogue. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard now. I guess you just give them a single
A link to a
Amazon.
one-off.
I don't
Please follow this
Yeah,
link
you know,
to open this in
Well,
Amazon.
and then there's like professional moviegoers. You fall into this
Yep.
category, just so that we're clear. My
Although, hold on.
husband will
Can-
not go to a movie theater unless there is a D-box and I have to shake
Oh,
and violently
Hold on.
be a part of the experience.
Can he be a professional moviegoer if he's never seen a single Harry Potter? I'm asking for a friend.
Okay, can I be a professional moviegoer if I've never seen Star Wars?
Ooh. Both of you
See?
are questionable.
I
Have
seen
you
all
never
the
seen
Harry
Star Wars?
Potters. I was the kid who would wait at the bookstore at midnight when the new copy would come out. Like,
Bet you've read them.
I read every single one of them well before they were
He's talking
movies.
about me because I've never read them. I've
Never
never
been to the
seen a
movies.
movie.
But you're a movie guy. My husband's a movie
That's
guy.
what surprises
I'm
me.
a book
Not
person.
just a movie guy. He likes compelling stories. And I don't know if you
But
guys
he
know this
doesn't
or
read.
not. Do you know the two?
Huh?
You read different stuff. You don't read fiction.
I
Am I
read fiction
accurate?
all the time,
Well,
but
then
it's
how the hell
but
did
it's
you do that?
generally Stephen King or
Okay.
Gresham
Okay.
or
Okay.
So
you read really okay.
the reason this surprises me.
Bestseller fiction.
Yeah.
Do
That's
you know what
read.
the top 2 most sold things in human history are?
Bible?
Top 2? No. You would think so. The answer is no.
That's actually accurate because if you look at the whole world's population, there's only a percentage that's
Correct.
Christian.
Christian's
Yep.
very small. So the
It's very
2
small.
top selling of humans all time. Any guesses?
Art of War.
iPhone,
Okay.
Harry Potter books.
Legit.
1 and 2.
Legit.
That's the reason
At
I
least
pick
it
it on a little
wasn't
bit.
Twilight.
No, God, no.
That's all I'm
My
saying.
boyfriend brings the milkshakes to the yard, or what? How does that go? My milkshake brings the. No, nobody read that either. So, that's the reason I'm
That was a
surprised by
song.
this. Yeah, it's a song
It
that
was
no
not
one
a
will
book.
ever listen to again.
All right, so PJ, I obviously have worn the wrong clothes because it is super damn hot in here now. So
We were
Shocking.
just
The
so
booze and the warm
we're
liquid.
filming this a month before it gets released. It
It's
is
pretty
the
hot today.
last warm day. It is 81 degrees on the 9th of
And
October.
we're drinking winter cocktails.
And we're drinking winter cocktails.
In
And I have a
long-sleeve
long
shirts.
sleeve on. Not my best thought. It's okay. We're fine. We're
Deli-
all making it work.
Delicious.
it is good.
This is good.
I was going to talk. So
I'm not going to be able to drive home from work.
We'll get you a ride.
That's fine.
I've set up Uber for everybody today. We believe in safety here at
Yeah, we
Moss
do.
Greenhouse.
We absolutely do. No
I'm going to
drinking
need
and
that
driving.
cart ride from here to my office.
Yes, yes. Just get on my
You
back.
want the roller cart? I'll run. It'll be really funny. We should have Zach go with the camera
Yeah.
during this.
Pull the microphones down. Drag Dave. Pull the microphones down. Drag
Drag
Dave. Yeah.
Watch Jennifer
Uh-huh.
trip, take pictures, make a scene,
Giggle, laugh,
Yep.
get
point.
up,
Yep.
Yes.
run with Dave on cart. Trip
Throw
again.
throw a GoPro on him, like those
Yeah.
TikToks. Where put a GoPro on a cat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let him go.
Just go. Oh god.
Joke. You know how how can you tell when you're getting too old when you fall down and no one laughs? You two are completely safe. So if you fall,
I
we will
expect
point
you
and
to
laugh.
laugh,
Yes, we
and
will.
then help me up.
We totally will.
Then help me up.
My
That is
dad used to
actually a
give me
rule.
so much grief about drinking the sweet drinks, like rum and cokes and this, Jack and Cokes and 7 and 7s, right? And he told me one of these days when you're done with that sweet shit, you'll try it. So after my dad passed, I had to teach myself to become a Scotchman. He was a Scotch guy, right? And once you get past the sweet shit
Yep.
and realize the sweet shit is what crushes you for hangovers,
Yep.
by the way, you can drink whiskey all night, you'll feel fine tomorrow. Put a little
Whis-
sugar in
whiskey
there.
and water
Put
and
some
you're
Coke
fine.
in. Exactly. It's the sugar that kills you.
Yeah.
So once I taught myself to become
Granted,
a Scotch guy,
What brings you out of a hangover? Sometimes sugar.
this is true.
Or pickle juice and pickles.
I heard this.
Yes.
I've never partaken
I
in said.
believe in it.
The
Well, see,
pickleback.
and I am a fan of the sweet drinks. Okay?
too.
And
Oh,
and you know,
yes.
I had a former boss.
Karen over here is
Yeah.
definitely a sweet drink guy.
I had a former boss that would call me Mr. Foo-Foo because
That's so big.
I would order, the sweet
You want
whatever it
some
was,
Mai Tai
tequila
with an
sunrise.
umbrella.
Give me the,
Yep. Okay,
sex
but
on the beach or
you-
whatever,
Well, that's why the
there's
bourbon-
Mr. Foo-Foo,
that's
you
why the
know.
bourbon
it's-
You
kills
had a little activity you were doing, not this spring, but the spring before. You would take each weekend, you would get the mixings for
Yes.
a new cocktail and you would try it.
Yes, during COVID, before it hit, I was all set to go to Hawaii.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I wanted to make sure that I was up to speed on all of the Hawaiian drinks. So I bought
called
all
R&D.
of the material, all the booze,
all the mixes,
that
all
you
the stuff.
needed. And every week I would do, after work on Friday, my wife and I would sit on the patio and I made these drinks. I'm going, I could become an alcoholic like
real
really,
fast.
really fast.
Well, then he'd come back and be like, that one wasn't any good. And now I own all the ingredients.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Because you grow up thinking alcohol tastes crappy. And when someone puts 3 or 4 alcohols in a glass and it tastes like candy, that's where you get scared. Like, holy, what was
Oh,
in there?
no.
4 boozes? I'm ready to put whipped
No,
cream on
I
and eat it for
I will
dessert.
tell you that when I was a young boy, my grandparents would always come over to the house and play cards. This is where I've learned how to play cards, right? They would play cards with my folks. And that was always the drinking night. The
Right.
kids weren't allowed in there, except I was in the kitchen and grandma was drinking screwdrivers.
Okay. Yummy.
And I would drink screwdrivers
Yes,
with her,
vodka, orange juice. God bless
And-
America.
I just happened to be in the kitchen and she comes by and I put the glass down and I missed the counter altogether.
Busted.
Oops. Grandma says, it's just our secret.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody. Nobody needs to know.
All right. So
Okay, so that was drink one.
That was,
yes, thumbs up.
yeah,
Got thumbs
that was
up?
good.
Okay, I'm gonna go make the next one, so you two feel free to chat. I'll take this away for you.
Thanks. It tastes good, but we're not.
Yes.
That's not the lemonade item.
So this is a drinking show. What's your favorite drink?
Okay, so currently what I drink is tequila, but I only do reposado or añejo, 100% tequila. And I lean towards reposado, even though I do really love añejo. The reason for that is I have a lot of food allergies, which also ties into alcohol allergies. Now, I love an ice cold beer, and I really like sours. I really like bocks. I like ambers. I like porters. I mean, I like a good beer. I can't drink them very often. It upsets my stomach, and it really messes with my person. I love a good red wine. I used to be in the restaurant industry, so I was very up on my wines. I've been out of that world for about 12 years, so I'm very disconnected from it now. Now, mind you, in the middle of all this, Dave, I actually quit drinking for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, and so I've just started.
Or I remember when you said that, hey, I could
Yeah.
finally drink something.
I
and
can
you were
finally drink
and you were
something.
afraid to even try that because
I was terrified because I didn't have the right liver enzyme. So I had a Halloween where I had 2 cocktails. I was 220 pounds, so I was 40 pounds heavier than I am now, and I was blackout drunk at 2 cocktails.
Wow.
So it was one of those. It's weird things about your body that modern medicine doesn't really teach you and doesn't really give you an answer. Like if I went to a doctor and said, "Hey, I had 2 cocktails and I was blackout drunk at 220 pounds," they were like, "Man, I bet you got drugged." That wasn't the case at all. I was drinking the same thing everybody else was, and the drinks were controlled. It wasn't like things were sitting
Right.
out. So I, a little further down the road, did some functional research, and then I stopped for a while. Well, my enzymes got flushed out, balanced out, and now I can handle alcohol to a certain degree. But I tend to lean towards añejo and reposado because it's a clean, no grain alcohol. So for me, it's a grain issue. So I can't do things with grains in it. So vodkas are kind of out. Whiskey's definitely out, and like a little bit. So what'll happen to me is I'll get a little itchy and warm.
Yeah.
And then it'll be gastro later. So I'm really careful. Couple sips, I'm okay. The second that I start to ingest entire cocktails. But the thing about it is my body won't let me. Like it just all of a sudden doesn't taste good, and I don't want
you just
anything.
stop. Yeah.
And I just stop. Now, with wines coming back into it, I'm okay with a good white if it's paired with something. I don't really like really sweet wines. I don't like really sweet drinks. Now, if I'm in Hawaii, by God, I'm going to have a Mai Tai. You can guarantee it because it's going to be delicious. It's very seasonal. It's probably made with fresh juices.
Right.
It's going to have fresh local fruit in it. I'm all for that. So if I'm, when in Rome, by God, have the pizza.
Absolutely.
And when you're in Europe, the ingredients are so much cleaner than they are in the US. So, and you're looking at everybody in Italy and they're like super skinny, and you're like, how you eat carbs for a job? But that's the difference between that clean food. And so, okay. Next up.
Talking, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
I'll bring
fine.
more.
And you need one for
I
Travis.
got Travis already.
We're taking care of the folks in our office as well. So anyhow, so with that, I tend to tequila is the one that's clean that I can drink. I don't go very crazy on it. Even if I really want to tie one on, I will go straight shots, chase with water, pickle juice, and then I can maintain for a while. But I seem to think I'm my college self in those moments, and so I tend to lean away from them if I can. So I'm a pretty mellow drinker. I tend to lean away from cocktails. I'll do a glass of wine or I'll do a beer, knowing that I'm going to stop.
Huh.
So that's just me. Now, if you go down the margarita road, I like a clean margarita. I like it on the rocks. I don't like it blended.
I like mine blended.
Yep. See, you
Yep.
would. You're floofy.
Yep.
I am not. I'm foofy. I was the girl that. Like they joke about in college, you take the straight shot and you don't make a face. I'm that girl. I could get it down.
I'm trading you because you won't drink much of it, and I want to drink all of it.
Okay.
You have the
can drink all
same
of it.
thing. I
That's
ran out of steak.
Mine
So,
has
yeah, are you ready?
many flakes. You need a picture of his.
Yes, he did take some good pictures. So again, in the apple cider vein, right? So this is
Ooh.
apple cider
So this smells
garnished with a
like-
cinnamon strip or
this
cinnamon
smells
stick.
like the cinnamon pine cones you find in front of Albertsons.
Okay. Okay. This is spiced rum. So think Captain Morgan's, right? Or any kind of decent rum. This is not Captain Morgan's, but in the same vein. So a little spiced rum warmed up, a little warm apple cider, and a cinnamon garnish is what this
Okay,
is.
so Could you, if you're using Captain Morgan's,
Right.
which is one of my favorite
Right.
brands,
Delicious stuff.
just
100%.
take the cinnamon stick out.
No, I like the cinnamon. Again, aromatics, when you're getting foofy with drinks, aromatics are what, to me, elevate it to a different level,
It
right?
takes the flavor up. a notch
Anything
because
rum
it's
or
both.
tequila base I'm on it.
Okay, so
So it's
See,
the
rum
lemon-
was
the
my
lemon
liquor when
time-
I was younger.
the lemon thyme we grow all year long and
Ooh.
sell, I garnish tons of drinks with it. Because as you get it close to your nose,
It
all you
totally
get's that
shifts.
beautiful thyme and that beautiful lemon. It just adds to the experience of the drink. So I'm all about garnish when you're getting into
Oh,
the
you talk
cocktails.
about
Yep, let's
that.
try it.
Right? Yes, let's
Oh.
give it a shot. See what you think. And yes, cheers, cheers, cheers.
You know, when I keep the cinnamon out of my teeth, it's
No,
delicious.
I know. So, and I did that on purpose because I'm like, she
Fine.
won't drink much of that.
I
at all.
don't care.
That has a
I
little
don't
bit more
mind.
bite than the last. I may have. Oh, I don't know. It definitely. This is not as top shelf a liquor as the bourbon I use. The bourbon I use is really good stuff, which is why it was as smooth as you guys were commenting.
Yeah.
This is pretty cheap.
So
This
here's,
has a
here-
nice burn going
here's
down.
some-
So it's
which
here's
is
some
cheap
of the
liquor.
examples. So I happened to be up at the Albertsons, the fancy one in
Right,
Boise.
right.
I was at the fancy one, and they had a fall seasonal cocktail menu because they have a full bar there. Some of these, like the one with cinnamon stick, it was called Hey Pumpkin, and it was Pendleton whiskey, lemon juice, pumpkin simple syrup served with a lemon stick.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a back to black, which was Blanco tequila, charcoal lemon juice, maple, topped with hard cider and cinnamon as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I had a whole ideas list in
Right.
case we were going to try and reinvent a couple.
Anti tequila. I'm just tequila and white
and
boys.
I love tequila.
tequila and white girls is a
Different
beautiful
thing.
combination.
It's a different thing.
Tequila and a white dude, somebody's fighting somebody. There's
Well-
a shirt coming off and somebody's fighting.
Well,
That's
the,
my
the girls,
experience.
somebody's naked.
Yes,
all
which
the time.
is why we order shots in the bar. Like, I'm out of tequila for all my friends, please. Then you cough yours up, hoping somebody's shirt will come off later. It's terrible.
I
That
felt
is
like
true.
I've led a sheltered life, I guess.
Well,
But
I
you
was just
didn't-
telling Zach in the bedroom, my dad, so because of my dad, I ended up turning myself into a Scotch drink. And I say that because no one likes Scotch. You have to teach yourself to enjoy that beverage. Same thing with beer. We all started drinking beer because that was the easiest thing to get a buzz on in high school. No one liked the taste of that shit. You drank 3 because I got a little buzz, right? And then eventually you go, oh, beer tastes
I'm
delicious
thinking of
today.
MD 2020.
Yeah, which I've never seen in an adult's house for some reason.
But no, it
in a
was
homeless person's car, yes.
16-year-old,
Yes.
different conversation.
Well, teaching myself Scotch over the years, then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and realized that
Oh,
they have been
that's a
so
different
ready
thing.
for this. Bourbon is American Scotch. They have been making bourbon in Kentucky since before this was a country.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So pre 1700s they found, and the reason is the water has no iron in it.
This is also a nightcap. I'm falling asleep.
No,
Yeah.
no iron in the water is what makes good bourbon. So they make whiskey all over the world. The only place in the world that can make bourbon is in America, and it comes from the area around. It's not only Kentucky
county.
because there's some Tennessee, there's some Virginia E type shit.
But there
It's
is
that
a
region.
county.
Well, it's
And
the region,
isn't-
Ohio Valley.
Isn't it where they make Jack Daniels? That's a dry county.
It is.
It is a dry county.
That's in
so-
Tennessee, and
yeah,
yes, you
so
can't buy booze in the
You
county.
can't actually buy booze in the county in which Jack Daniels is made.
Correct.
That's
How
actually
stupid
true.
is that?
Yeah.
I never even heard of a dry county until I
Yeah.
moved to Texas. And they go, dry county, I go, what you talking about?
Huh?
And they go,
Dry?
no, you can't buy anything here ever. I'm like, you mean on Sundays, like when it's church day and you're all dressed up? No, like, no,
Nah,
never.
Never. You have to.
You know,
go
my
across the
favorite
county
part of
line.
that exercise, though, right across the state border in New Mexico, was my first drive-through
I was
liquor
gonna say
store
there's right next
Drive-through
door. There's
liquor
drive-through liquor stores.
on both sides. So
Yeah.
you and the passenger can
In
make an order.
Florida, they have alcohol drive-throughs where you can also get guns and ammunition.
God bless America. I got to visit.
There's
more
probably a
Florida.
dispensary attached now too,
Yes,
because
you
I was not
probably
in
too.
Florida when it was
Right.
legal. So that's probably a whole thing. It's like the drive-by, get you everything. Thanks, ma'am. I'll just and I've got my cocktail and my joint in my mouth, and I'm just going down the road. How very
happy
Florida of you.
days.
Yeah,
Department of Transportation. What?
illegal.
So interesting. So you guys like this, but not quite
Yeah.
as much. Cheaper booze.
I
I
like
actually-
the
It's
other one.
cheaper
I
booze.
like the other one
I
better.
actually like this one better.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
I like
has
the
a
other
little
one
more
better.
flavor. It's got a little more spices. I'm getting a
Yeah,
little
like I
more.
said, this
I,
burns.
I like this better.
It definitely has more cheaper booze.
Yeah.
Right. You learn that
It's
a little
all
cheaper
about your
booze, a little more
ingredients.
burny. Yeah, exactly right.
All about your
And to be fair, I didn't have any top shelf spiced rum on my shelf for some reason. I don't know why.
That's okay. Another
Another decent.
another
I
show.
would if somebody brought this on a cold night and we were
sure.
around a fire, bullshitting
But
or
here's
smoking a
the-
cigar. I would enjoy
Here's
this.
the good news. You
long
have
time.
apple cider and you've been able to come up with 3 drinks so that if somebody was just need to go grab a couple of bottles of
Yes.
something, it's just nice and easy.
Yep. And we'll save the last for last. But yeah,
All right.
I think this is a really good take on a toddy.
That's good. I remember back when I was in the service and we had to pull guard duty. Okay.
Mhm.
And my name got pulled and I had to pull guard duty basically in a blizzard. So it was like 35 below and we're sitting around walking around a little transport armor area. Like nobody's going to go in and steal. Right. So, Staff Sergeant Speedy says, Holly, here, come over here. What's that? He says, here, take a couple swigs of this schnapps before you go out. It's going to warm you up.
The cockles of your heart. I don't know where the cockles are, but they'll warm up all right.
So it was a peppermint schnapps, and okay, that was good, and I was off and ready to go. You know, of course,
Speedy
it only
had you
lasted
set
about
up.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I was like,
And
that
then
doesn't keep you warm very long.
Oh, and talking about
No.
peppermint schnapps is like cough syrup. Or,
No.
oh,
I'm a huge fan of peppermint schnapps in a flask in your ski
in the
coat.
skiing.
When you're on
I
the
agree.
when you're on a ski
And it
lift and
makes
then
the
you get a
air
little
taste
hot
amazing.
cocoa and you just
True.
life's okay. Life's
Works
okay.
in cocoa pretty darn well
Yeah,
too.
it does.
Surprisingly.
Yes, it does. All right,
Surprisingly.
drink number 3.
Okay,
sir.
I will go get drink number 3 is a cold. So you finish your hots for the day. I will go make this one is not coming with ice. It'll be shaken and poured over ice. So I will be back with that short.
Okay. Mixologist.
Thanks, sir.
There you go.
Yes, I will.
I got to be polite and finish my drinks. You know, that's,
I don't. I can be blatantly rude and not finish my drinks. But that is the story of my life, and I'm okay with that. I don't finish drinks often. Someday, my husband doesn't even order drinks anymore because he knows he's gonna have to finish mine unless I like it. Now, I will say a drink that I recommend heavily that does have tequila in it is the michelada at Garibaldi's. So it's a beer and it's like a red beer, so it'll have clam or tomato in it, and then it's got a bunch of spice, and then it's got tequila in it, and it is just.
I think you're almost committing a sin by ordering anything but a margarita
No, michelada, man.
with a
Oh,
Mexican
we're
dinner.
going to
you know.
Garibaldi's and we're going to have a work lunch and drink
All right.
micheladas.
All right.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, because, each culture has their own drinks too.
Right.
I mean, because a true Russian, what do they drink?
White Russians.
Vodka.
White Russians.
Vodka.
Yeah.
But white Russians, absolutely. Gosh, when I was a heavier drinker, because I'm a vandal, so we were professional drinkers, and I definitely had that down pat for a long time.
Well, they had
But-
Moscow Mule cups in
Yeah.
the university store.
yeah, but the Moscow Mule really comes from somewhere else, I think.
I would believe it.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I'm
it-
not
it
sure
sa- it
about that.
sounds
It's
like
still
one
a
of those-
vodka-based drink,
Yeah.
so the Russians with the vodka could be a
I
thing.
don't know.
But anyways, I drank mind erasers. So mind erasers were vanilla vodka layered with Kahlua, layered with soda water in a rocks glass with a long straw. And when you drink
Yeah.
it, you suck it down all at once.
Hmm.
And you don't stop till it's gone. And that soda water right after the vanilla vodka and the Kahlua, just like, it's just like a perfect little candy.
Oh.
Those will just go right to your dome, though. Just got to watch out. They're called mind eraser for a reason.
like the
And-
whippets of drinks.
Yeah. I was a chili bomb girl in college, so Crown Royal and Red Bull. Because that's a very Idaho thing, turns
I
out
think
too.
the first time I ever blacked out was one of those.
Oh well, and I do not do Jaeger. I do not do Fireball. Period.
No,
End of
I
story.
hate Fireball.
I like
I
Fireball.
used to do
Can't
both of
stand
those. I drank too much at one point of either, and we were done.
Just
Huh.
Fireball shots, nothing else. That's all that I'll do on Fireball.
Oh
Or
no,
just the shots.
no, I won't even drink it. I can't even smell it. I'm like, ooh. Nope, not doing it. Jaeger, oh no. Now you get me Goldschlager in front of me, which is very similar to Jaeger, but the white version of it, right? It's
Uh-huh.
not all charcoal black inside.
Right.
God. But it still has that anise licorice flavor. I do Goldschlager all day.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. I like that stuff. It's got spice to it. It's got the gold flakes in it.
What's if you needed it like top shelf, what would
Perfect
be
steak
your
right there.
choice?
Just stay.
It'd probably be a Reposado or Añejo tequila. There is a vodka I really like that's a ginger vodka that's
Mhm.
real weird. And having it's called Yazzie, and having it cold, we thought it'd be a really good idea one time. Well, ginger's kind of an interesting diet. It's a very unique flavor.
Yeah.
Cold Yazzie was terrible. It was like room temperature or warmer bust. Like it was bad. Most liquors you can just make cold and they go down smooth.
Yeah.
That was not on the list.
Some have to be room temperature.
Some have to be.
Or warm.
Some have
to be.
Which is weird. Gosh.
I'm a sucker for if anything is in a cool bottle, because I'll want the bottle. So I'll just buy it just for that.
I can see that.
So what's who is it? Is it Dan Aykroyd that has the Crystal Skull vodka? Did you hear about that? Have you seen him in general, how he actually is? He was very much typecast for his role in Ghostbusters. He is all about paranormal.
Oh yeah,
everything.
So he's perfect.
He's perfect.
Dan Aykroyd was typecasted for Ghostbusters.
He's the same kind of character. I'll swap you out.
No, that's fine. You're doing great. I gotta get close up. You're doing great. All right, so this is our take on apple pie. This is apple cider. This is vanilla brandy, which this is dessert drink. This is Tawaka, if you've not heard of Tawaka. Tawaka is a vanilla brandy, and then this is finished with a whipped cream vodka. So vanilla, whipped cream, and apple. So our take on
whipped cream I can drink.
Apple. Yeah. Yes, whipped cream you can drink. Right? Just is something different.
That tastes like
We got a thumbs up from our coworker.
Oh my gosh. It
tastes a little
Travis,
desserty, doesn't it?
turn around to do that again. Oh, we're a fan. We're a fan.
That is good.
Right?
Oh.
It tastes like
it's a lot of sugar for
No,
your
that's
poor
delicious.
system. It's stupid good.
That's delicious. There's a reason I don't drink this much
So
sugar.
let's give credit where credit's due. So Leslie, who's in the back corner right there.
Yes.
We're
waving at her.
We're talking about the apple pie, or because she was at the Christmas party where we were doing the bourbon and whatnot, and she goes, it'd be great with that Tawaka, and I was like, I hadn't even thought about that booze in so long. And she comes from a restaurant background, so that was like something they would float in their margaritas, and I went, that sounds awesome. So we ran last year at the Christmas party and bought Tawaka. So it was bourbon and Tawaka. So this was literally 100% R&D at Moss Greenhouses.
This is good. It almost has like a caramel or toffee type
This needs
aftertaste.
to be bottled up and
Oh my
sold
gosh.
right now. We're going to call it Leslie's Creation.
I tried to give Leslie one. She goes, no, I don't want any of that. I think I scared her off at the whipped cream vodka. But I'm like, this needs something
I thought that's
else.
what she asked for.
No. Her opinion was the Tawaka to add to the cider. The whipped cream vodka was my, again, apple pie.
It was a collective.
Apple pie,
It was a
right?
collective.
And my thing, what are you missing in apple pie? I got
good.
my vanilla,
Whipped
I got my
cream.
apple.
Whipped cream.
You need the cream, right?
Or
And that's
ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm an a la mode with my
Okay.
pie. Now, again, no dairy.
But
So-
can you imagine that? And like
Ooh.
with a big scoop of ice cream?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So we have Christmas party figured out.
Yeah.
We will have a full bar.
Chris Travis is like, that chip's delicious.
He's
ordering more.
Glass is empty. He's upset. So there's so many options. All we did was pick one mixer
Correct.
for this.
Basically. And play
All
with
right, so you got hot drinks. So I found a bunch of, when I was starting to look into this, espresso martinis, pumpkin martinis. Like you could go that direction. That's fine. And I did see some of the old fashioned drinks with the egg white to fluff it. And have you seen those? I don't know enough of the history, but
you're like basically eggnog type stuff. It's cream.
No, it was usually on clear drinks. It does something. It emulsifies in the alcohol the right way, but it has to be whisked up the right way. And it's just an egg white.
So not all the rest of
it. And I'll have to do my homework because I don't know what I'm talking about. And I haven't been a bartender for a long time, and we never had egg whites behind the bar, and I would not even start to entertain that. I'm like, no,
hell no.
Go away.
Off with your head.
We're not playing that game.
You're talking about martinis, and I'm not a martini fan by any means. But
Pure booze.
yeah,
Solid booze.
when we were living in Oregon, we took the Mount Hood train ride, dinner type thing. And it was highly suggested that we go to the little hotel there in Mount Hood. And I can't think of the name of the hotel.
Government camp, and it's Huckleberry Inn.
So
I know exactly what you're
it's right
talking
there
about. I
on
used to live there.
right there on the river.
It's so cool.
And
it's not the same place.
it was right there on the river.
You're talking
in
about Hood River.
Hood River, yes.
Yeah, you're in Hood River.
So,
okay.
And they said that their specialty was a chocolate martini.
Okay.
Okay, we both like chocolate, my wife and I. So we went in there and ordered it. it probably had to be the worst tasting thing I had ever had. We couldn't even finish it. So it's like, okay.
Martinis are, it's just booze. There's no mixer. A martini, like I always the guys on MASH, right? How do you make a right martini? You pour gin in a glass and you stare at a bottle of vermouth and then you hand it to me. Like that was their version of martini, right? Pure booze. So it makes sense why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing there sweet. We've tried this a couple times. Oh, I like a pineapple martini. Could I have the mouthwash, please? Less fat. Martinis are not, that's for people who enjoy booze. Right. This is the kind of stuff for people who just like tasty stuff. Right. And then you go, God, 2 of those. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah. I can't.
So 1 and 3 is what I got. God, that spiced rum I got is the cheapest shit I've ever seen. Which is why I feel like you guys hated it. If that was real Captain Morgan's, you probably would have been okay with that.
Yeah, I might have been.
Yeah. No one was a fan of my bargain basement spiced rum. But that's what I had when you called me at 5 o'clock on Sunday or whatever.
You should have asked me to bring mine. And
I
thought it'd be okay.
Okay, I gave you guys the most prep time I've ever given you, and I still shit the bed.
Yeah, well,
and that's okay. That's called being a business owner and trying to do too much. It's all right. We had a wonderful meal today.
We did.
Which was
thank you
the
very
past
much.
episode.
Yep.
So
Beautiful
please
lunch.
watch the Everything Pumpkin.
Yep.
All right. And then
Beautiful
if
lunch.
you could get these recipes to Zach, then we will post them in the show notes. And then
most
again,
certainly
if
can.
you like this episode, what we ask you to do is go try one of the recipes.
Yep. Right.
Just try one.
So you might hate it. You might think it's fabulous.
Well, if you want apple pie in a glass,
Yeah.
that was this one.
Yep.
That was the
Yep.
last one. I recommend the second one. That
Scary
one's
danger.
still
You're right.
yeah.
She did like it. And I bet
I
you
like
Captain
the second
Morgan, you'd
one.
really like
I
it.
love Captain
Yeah,
Morgan's.
I do too.
Captain used to make. I used to drink Captain Morgan's on the regular and like channel my inner pirate.
Yes.
And then I really started to channel my inner pirate and started getting mean on it. I quit drinking.
Have
it.
either one of you tried the Kraken? Do you know what the Kraken is?
I do know about the Kraken.
The
And
Kraken
yes,
is
I
like
have drank
90
the Kraken.
proof spice rum.
Yeah. No, so I definitely drink the Kraken because my favorite animal is an octopus.
Right?
So I'm way into anything Kraken. So I definitely have drank the Kraken on more than one occasion. So try one of the drinks. Also, try a drink that you haven't tried before. So if you get to a restaurant and they've got some seasonal drink menu, taste something.
Can I throw one
Taste
out?
something.
We're
Yes,
not done yet.
please.
I know you're trying to wrap up.
You're
Okay,
good.
so I took one of our coworkers up to Haley and took her to the Papusa restaurant, which in Haley is the Red Caboose on Main Street. You know what I'm talking about? There's a restaurant in, it's Ketchum. I'm sorry. I keep saying Haley.
Yeah, those
It's
are
in
different
Ketchum.
places.
They're way different. It's the Red Caboose on Main Street across from the old A-frame ski shop. Okay. Anyways, so she had never tried horchata before. Horchata is a sweet, delicious rice.
It's like a rice milk with cinnamon.
With cinnamon and sugar. It's delicious, right? Especially at the homemade place where like a little old lady in the back's making it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, the week after she texts me and she goes, "Hey, I'm at Garibaldi's having horchata with cognac in it." And I thought, what kind of ghetto date are you on right now? The only people I know that drink cognac is black dudes. And last I checked, she wasn't dating a black dude. I'm just saying, not being racist. Just saying.
There's also not very many in this state.
This is true. And I didn't meet that one guy.
And I'm friends with all of them.
Yes, right. It's on the menu, you guys. Horchata with Hennessy cognac.
Oh, but at least it's Hennessy.
Delicious.
At least
it's called a Gary
Hennessy.
Chata at our local Garibaldi's. Please support local. Go buy a Gary Chata.
Or get a michelada.
Michelada's delicious too.
We have plugged Garibaldi's twice on this.
Have we? And I got
I was talking about micheladas while you were making rum.
And that's good stuff
we're
too.
gonna go drink
micheladas are
micheladas.
delicious.
You said you don't like tequila.
Micheladas aren't tequila.
Yeah, they have tequila.
No, well, maybe you're a weirdo white girl michelada. Michelada is
Garibaldi's.
tomato juice and some clam juice and some fish juice and beer and tomato juice.
Well, I had
tequila.
just called Jennifer out while you were gone. Why you would
And
drink
tequila.
anything other than a margarita when you went to Garibaldi's? So
Gary
He was giving
Chata.
me
Try the
shit.
Gary Chata next time you're at
Okay,
Garibaldi's
I'm
and tell
going
me
to
what
take
you
you,
think.
and we're going to have this conversation when we are at
Okay.
Garibaldi's.
I like your attitude.
Because I am almost positive they're saying, God,
Okay,
I'm going to be wrong.
we've got-
I was going to say,
Funny.
micheladas typically
We've
is a
gotta-
tomato in beer.
yeah, we've got to invite Zach so he can film this. So
Okay.
we just put a quick
Well, yeah, and
verb on
I kept
Facebook or
threatening
whatever.
to do a s'mores
it's-
one, but I think we're getting a little too close into the cold.
Right.
And I even looked at making s'mores pumpkin stuff just to be a smartass, and I didn't do that.
Thank you for not. Yeah.
Guess what I don't like? Marshmallows.
Oh,
I don't like marshmallows.
And there's not like a coconut keto version we can give you someplace with like only air and it looked at a bottle of sugar on its way to processing or something?
If I'm going to do it, it's going to be straight out of the campfire, ooey gooey melty, sticking to everything with like graham crackers and Reese's peanut butter cups.
If you're coming off the wagon, go to the top.
If you're going to do it,
the wagon.
So with my food retardation and drink retardation, if you're going to go above and beyond and step outside of things that are going to make you feel like absolute crap,
right?
Just do it right,
because
you're going to be so
Why
disappointed.
Pay for a bargain basement cocktail?
Okay, so this is total side note, and then we're going to wrap this episode up. I was craving shoestring French fries from Arctic Circle. So I went to Twin. I was in Twin. I went to Arctic Circle. I had the worst French fries I've ever had from there. I got mini corn dogs. They were so greasy. I fed them all to the dog. Oh. And then I had a cheeseburger because if I was going to do it, I was going to do the whole thing. The ranch burger was the only thing that was any good. I will never go back.
I am beginning to think that there is a cloud over you when you eat. So you've had that at Arctic Circle. You had that at Del Taco.
Oh, I have had
you had that.
If you're gonna, if I'm gonna break
concert podcast that we talked about,
and have good food, I want. Well, and if I'm gonna have food that's bad for me, make sure it tastes really good.
Yeah, well, you're not getting that in a drive-through. In case you're wondering.
Well, of fast food, Arctic Circle usually does a really good job. Not the one in Jerome. But the one in Twin, and the one in Twin was so terrible. I literally will never be back because then they didn't give me half my food. I had to get, and they're on Blue Lakes. So let's be clear, traffic is not a small thing. And I had to get my ass back in there and be like, WTF? Where's my goddamn mini corn dogs? Like,
where's the grease bombs that are now going to give my dog gout? Please, I would like them right now.
It was so disappointing, and I feel bad. I mean, they were hardworking individuals in there. They just did a bad job.
To be in all fairness, when you eat clean like you do, because you have to, not because you want to.
Yeah.
You almost can't go out to eat. Nothing tastes even close. You spend a bunch of money that you really didn't have to spend. Why did I torture myself?
We'll debate between a steakhouse and me cooking. That's
the two options, because everything in between is garbage.
Well, and I will spend a third to a quarter of the amount of time and make a meal 10 times better than I can get in a restaurant.
And you get to eat it all.
I get to eat everything.
Make you feel shitty.
It tastes good. I don't need the salt shaker. I've taken care of it.
Yep. There you
Same
go.
with cocktails. Because a cocktail in a restaurant.
You invite PJ over to your house and then watch out.
Cocktails, I'd rather make them at home.
For sure.
I really would. Because they're just better.
Yeah, you feel like a strong, poor kind of girl, which is one of the reasons we like you. Put your elbow in it, girl. Put your elbow in it.
Let me lift that a little bit. Isn't your arm feeling heavy? You need to lighten the load. All right. Well, with that, we invite you to go make an apple cider cocktail or try something along those ways.
Even turn Dave into a
absolutely. Yeah. And in the names of Oliver, more please.
More please.
All right. Recommend this podcast. Follow us, subscribe, all of the things. We're on all of the platforms. And with that, we invite you to live life in full color because plain is pretty boring. Cheers.
See ya.